everybody. How you doing? Sean Lutz coming to you from my home studio set up here in Dallas, Texas. Today is November 17th, 2025. This is going to be episode number 14. Brendan Shanahan from Sea Light Sports, Detroit Red Wings, NHL update. Let's just jump right into it, folks. Last night, Detroit was on the road in New York at Madison Square Garden to square off against the Rangers, who actually played the night before just like us. So no excuses in the books for last night. But let's just jump right into the scoring into the first period. There was none, but it was a tight checking first period. Detroit seemed to have got their legs earlier than the Rangers did. But Rangers had a few good looks. Talbot made some good saves, but I think the difference maker was Quick. Looked like he was getting ready to do his magic, and yeah, he did. But nonetheless, no scoring in the first. After one, knotted up at 0. Same sort of play with Quick, man. He was just. We had a lot of good opportunities. He had made a lot of good saves. They had some opportunities, and here we go on the power play. Lucas Raymond fired a wrist shot. It looked like it was going in, but Alex DeBrincat tapped it in the final way, giving the Red Wings at the 9:30 mark of the second period 1-0 lead. That didn't last long because very long. A few minutes later, you had the Rangers going on the power play, where Mika Zibanejad tied it up at 11:59 at 1-1. The rest of the period played out the similar way, where we had opportunities, we had power plays. Quick was a difference maker, man. He was looking like a Hall of Famer for sure. But nonetheless, after the second period, we were still knotted up at 1. Now heading on into the third, Quick doing the same sort of thing, man. The dude ended up stopping 40 shots, man. And we peppered him. We were on him like flies on stink. But he just did a number on us. It was looking like one of those days, man. One of those games. But nonetheless, we were patient. We had relentless pursuit of the puck. We had a good forecheck. We took a lot of time and space away, and it even looked like that sometimes we were playing a lock, a left wing lock, or trap, where it was like a 1-1-3-1 or a 2-1-2. But we gave them very little time and space, and we looked good. But we were patient, and we kept it going into the late in the third period, where Lucas Raymond comes around the net. Looked like he was going to get ready to do a wraparound, but no, he had nice poise and patience with the puck. Stepped out a few steps earlier, delayed a little bit, and just fired it in. Lucas Raymond, man, he's been on fire the last couple days. But bammo, Detroit takes a 2-1 lead there. It was getting tight there, but I have to say, man, Dylan Larkin on the faceoffs, man, for this whole game. I don't know what his finals numbers were, but we ruled the faceoffs. I have to look at it, but it was in the 60s. So looked like we're playing some, Russian 5 puck possession there at times, which was good to see. And Larkin winning those draws. Those were key in the final minutes when, they were pulling their goalie, and, we made a couple of ill attempts at the open net. But a lot of draws, and Larkin, hats off for winning those faceoff scores. But nonetheless, we hung on, man. We won in regulation. So we didn't give up points to Rangers, who are in our conference and battling for a playoff spot. But that was a final there, 2-1, Detroit Red Wings. And by the way, that win moved us into the second place into the Atlantic Division, which means that's not a wild card spot. That's guaranteed. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But that was a great win there for the Detroit Red Wings. We answered back from a stinky performance of Clapson. and relinquishing the point when we shouldn't have. Uh, we played a solid road game and looked really, really good. Um, and then the other notable thing there was at the end of the regulation, we it was really close. It may have been a half a second after the buzzer. We shot it into the open net. That seemed to piss off Quick. So it looked like the benches cleared. It looked like there was going to be a brawl, but there was no fisticuffs. Todd was yelling at his team to get their asses back to the bench. They won the game. No need to carry on. But I just thought it was kind of silly. Yeah, you don't shoot the puck in an empty net. And the way Quick jumped up there, I talk trash, and I would have said, dude. I mean, I got mad respect for the guy, honestly, but I would have said at the heat of the moment, hey, you got a different color jersey on. I'm going to talk trash to you. I would have said, hey, dude, maybe if you would have fucking stopped 42 instead of 40, you wouldn't have to been pulled. He wouldn't have been happy about that. But nonetheless, it was a nice little melee that didn't amount to anything. I just thought I'd mention that. But anyway, let's move on and let's go through the scoreboard. There wasn't a whole lot of games going on. It was a Sunday night NFL, but you did have Pittsburgh over Nashville from the Global Series in Sweden, which was an early day game. They won 4-0. Then you had Vancouver smoking Tampa Bay 6-2. Minnesota over Las Vegas 3-2 in overtime. And the late game out west was Colorado over New York Islanders at 4-1. And that dropped Islanders out of that slot and moved us in. So they're in the wild card, and we are in the Atlantic second slot. Move on to our next game is going to be tomorrow, where we have Seattle heading into Little Caesars Arena. So let's see if we can keep this going back, and keep going positive, racking up wins and points. Let's just touch briefly on the schedule for today. There's a handful of games, not a lot. Monday Night Football, of course, but some Eastern Conference teams. And when we talk about the standings here in a little bit, you'll see how tight it is. So each day, team wins, team loses. There's movement in the standings because it's that tight. I mean, 1, 2, 3 point separation, 7, 8 teams. We'll discuss it here in a bit. But anyway, today's schedule, you're going to have Carolina at Boston, 7 o'clock Eastern. Then Edmonton at Buffalo, also at 7. Vancouver at Florida, also at 7. Then you have LA at Washington at 7. Montreal at Columbus at 7:30 Eastern. And then Utah at Anaheim at 10 o'clock Eastern out west. That's it for the schedule. So let's move on and look at the standings real quickly. I'm not gonna talk a whole heck of a lot about them. I'll leave them up there to take a look at it. But you can see right there into the Atlantic, our Detroit Red Wings moved into the second spot there with 23 points. So that's looking good. We want one of those top 3 slots in the Atlantic. We don't want to be dicking around with any wild card, but this is going to be ping pong and back and forth. It's going to be a tight race because, man, we're pretty much on every other day schedule till the Olympic break, pretty much. So it's going to be tight this whole year. So couple wins, couple losses. You're going to drive yourself crazy looking at these stats, looking at the standings. But that's how tight it is, and you have to. You got to pay attention to what other people are doing. You got to take care of your own business. But anyway, let's look at the conference now, where Detroit moved up to number 5 in the Eastern Conference, and that's good to see. See there. Let's keep on moving that up. But if you can notice, if you're looking at the points there, the Wings with 23. Look at everybody around us. It's tight. So now moving on, let's just take a quick look at the wild card standings to see the whole rest of the picture. I couldn't even fit this in the slide, but you can see at the very top there, the that is Atlantic with Detroit in second place there in the wild card. But if you scroll down there, you'll see, the Islanders with 22, Ottawa with 22, and then the Rangers, who we just took care of last night, on the outside looking in with 22. We only have 23 points. So see how those are all knotted up there. It's a tight race, folks. It's going to be like that for the rest of the season, all the way to the end. So let's just keep her going, boys. Let's take care of business. Tomorrow at Little Caesars when Seattle comes into town, and then let's just keep going on how we doing. I think Todd had the boys ready to rock. We played a hell of a road game. We looked really good. We had, like I say, relentless pursuit of the puck. I would have liked to have seen a couple more dings on the power play. We had a lot of good looks, but hats off to Jonathan Quick, man. It was looking like one of those games that we were gonna either go to a shootout or overtime, or miss out completely, because that dude was just stealing it. But hey, we remained patient. We kept our attack going, and Lucas Raymond, man, took care of business, and that was more important. That was a regulation win, and that's what we want to rack up. We didn't relinquish a point to those Rangers, who, if we did, that, well, you can see they would have had 23 points. So that's how the standings and everything's look. And but this is going to wrap it up for this edition of Cedarlight Sports Detroit Red Wings NHL update. Remember to be kind and nice to everybody. And thanks for watching. Remember to see the light, and I'll catch you on the next one.